I don't know how this video is gonna go, but this is the things that people don't really talk about when you decide to drop corporate and job security, be a job, and go the startup, your own business, trading, anything self-employed, that route. So, when you initially begin and start thinking, oh yeah, you know, I think I can make it on my own, everything looks like a great idea. Maybe not everything looks like a great idea, but the grass just looks so much greener on the other side. The light at the end of the tunnel is so bright. But people don't really talk about the struggle when it comes to actually pursuing something and then it doesn't pan out, or you're working and then you figure out, oh, this is either A, already been done, or B, not possible by you yourself because the resources you have aren't actually at the same extent that like companies like Google or Apple or like just conglomerates have. And then you kind of start to lose hope in what you're doing. You don't necessarily lose hope forever. You might regain hope, something, an idea, like a way of rebuilding whatever you were trying to do might come up, but you do face a lot of obstacles and hurdles that not people in their corporate jobs won't really face. Plus, for the most part, I mean, income is going to be significantly cut, if not completely cut. And then if you lose hope at any point in time, you begin to panic. And then you begin to backtrack and start thinking, oh, should I have ever actually left my quote unquote cushy job? Or should I continue and try to reach the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Which, again, the grass is so much greener. But when you actually start, going towards it, it's genuinely like a placebo in not in every case, but in a lot of cases where it's like, yeah, you get to work yourself. You don't have to answer to anyone else. You feel this like empowerment, but then when things don't work out, you really face like hard times. And don't get me started on if other parts of your life begin to shift, causing stress somewhere else, which, because now your mind isn't completely on the work, it just like it takes away even more focus. And without that like additional focus, you just feel like you can't really move the move the meter forwards, or however the saying goes. But yeah, so these are some of the things that I myself have been facing as someone who's tried a plethora of different avenues to lead myself to be self sufficient and not have to worry about money in like all the time. But at the same time, I mean, you get that freedom. You're not working on like you're not building something that no one will ever see. But at the same time, when things don't work and then when you start to lose hope, that feeling, those thoughts, they just keep ruminating around in your head, and then like they get louder and like bigger in your head, and it's like, should I actually be doing this? And the amount of people that you find out have tried something like at some point in their life to go off and do something themselves and don't actually succeed and then end up going back to working for a corporation is way higher than I thought. It sucks to, think about it, like all of the time you've spent and like whether or not it actually turned into anything usable beyond like knowledge for yourself and experience, and that, I guess, fulfilling the feeling of not having to regret not trying something. But yeah, once you start to look back and the struggles are hitting, it's like, damn, should I have ever actually tried, versus would I have been better off not like deviating and trying to be self-employed? Because it's a hard path, and then once you're on it, people will say that someone who wants to be self-employed can never actually be employed by someone else. Hence, like, maybe you try to go back into the workforce and then it just doesn't pan out in the same capacity as it did before, because people start looking at you like, oh damn, this dude is just trying to fund his own operation, or oh, this person will never have their mind completely on this work. It'll always be on their own stuff. And there's a lot of truth in that. It just, at a certain point, do you the person feel like, okay, I want to give up on this whole self-employed route? And when you say give up, it's not like, oh, I'll come back to it. Giving up means you give up forever. There's no like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come back to this later. No, because at that point your mind is still like stuck with that whole, oh, I want to work for myself and build something myself mindset, versus the, I want to climb the corporate ladder and create a stable income and then do something with it. But that something with it will never be creating a product or creating a service or a business ever in the same capacity as when you had that whole self-employed mindset. Trying things is great, spending money to try things, succeeding, failing, it's all a great experience. It's just, at the end of the day, does the experience lead to something, lead to a paycheck, lead to users? I don't know what to tell you. It's like, in most cases it doesn't. In those cases where it does, you have to have fulfilled a need for a user, marketed it. People don't put as much emphasis on marketing in the service industry, in the service industry, in the product industry, in all industries. Like, you can build the most beautiful product, but getting someone to actually step out of their way and buy that product, that's a whole nother mission in itself. How do you convince them that what you have is worth buying? How do they think that it's not a scam? So yeah, the light always looked so bright when I started all this. But then after a while it just became, man, I wish I had a stable income. But at the same time, I like working myself, but I really wish I had a stable income. So at a point it becomes, I would rather have my mental peace and a job and like different people to talk to, even if it didn't end up with me working myself and creating something. It ain't easy, and I don't know what to tell you. It's just, Another thing that you got to think about when deciding whether the self-employed route is for you